Hello my friends, so we continue. So now we're going to go back to our admin subcategories page and we need to create that data table right here. But we need to fetch the informations first. First of all, we need to fetch all the subcategories that exist in the database with their category data, okay? Because we need the subcategories and also the informations of the parent category, like the name of it, etc. So we can just go const and then subcategories, okay? And then this one subcategories and then equal and await, and we can create a function. Let's call it get all subcategories like this. We're going to make sure this function is asynchronous. So default asynchronous function. And we need to create this function inside our queries. So I'm going to close the components, go back to the subcategory queries. So we have get all categories. We're going to change it to get all subcategories. Of course, you need to update the informations we have there very simply. So I'm just going to copy that. That's what I'd rather do. So I'm just going to go back to my queries for subcategory, then look for get all categories. So just give me a second, guys. And what is it? This one. I'm just going to copy it. So simply you can copy it also, that's better. So function gets all subcategories, retrieves all the subcategories in the database. If I like zoomed in is better. The permission level is going to be public. We can get all the subcategories, that's fine. And then simply right here for the function for the get right here is going to be retrieve all subcategories. So right here all subcategories from the database. Then right here is going to be subcategories. So subcategories and then return the subcategories. So back and then subcategories right here is going to be subcategory, those find many, and then we will order by. But something we need to do first is include the informations of the database. So we need to include because they have a relation between them. So before right here we're going to add include, and then we're going to include the category and we're going to add true to it. And this time not only we're going to get the subcategories, but also we're going to get the category included with them. And then we'll return the subcategories like this and then go back right here, just import this and we are done. So that's cool. And then simply for this one we're going to add the comments queries on top of here like this. And then we need after that, so we have the subcategories, and of course we don't have the subcategories, which is going to return now. So I'm just going to add that right here. And then after that we need also to add the categories. Okay, so we need sorry guys, we need to also get the categories, and the reason for that is because we need to pass them to the model that is going to be used to create. Okay, so like if you remember when we added the subcategory details form, that takes categories, so we need to also get them because we're going to need them. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go under here and right here, instead of fetching subcategories, it's just going to be fetching categories like this from the database. And to do that, it's just the simplest thing ever. So const and then categories and then equal await and then db. Actually, we have the function. So get all categories like this, and those are also under the queries. And now we can also get the categories very easy. Now we need to actually add the data table. So to add the data table, I'm just gonna remove all of this right here, add the data table, self-closing tag, and let's start filling the information. So for the action, we already know what it's gonna be. So the action button text is gonna be this icon plus icon right here with the create subcategory. So the data table is gonna be imported also, and this one, let me just go on top here, set a space, and this one we can call it just custom components. Okay, that's way, or data table. So I'm just gonna name it data table, and then let's go. So after that we need to add the model. So the model children, this is the model that's going to be opened when we actually click on this button, and the model is going to be what is going to be the subcategories form. So subcategories details right here, and then this takes what? It takes the categories right here. We're not going to send the data because this is using to create, so we're only going to need to pass the categories there. And then for the filter value right here, we're going to filter as usual by the name, and then for the data right here is going to be the subcategories like this, and then under there we're going to have the search placeholder, which is going to be search and then subcategory. So subcategory, let's actually have it lowercase, so sub and then category name like this with 3 dots this way. Now the last thing we need to add right here is going to be the columns. So columns is the most important one, so let's add columns right here. and then let's not import anything. What we're gonna do is gonna go back to our categories and then copy the columns, close the categories, go back to the subcategories and just paste them. So now we have the columns there. So what we have to do now is just import them, but import them from the same path, and this one is gonna import the next one to it inside the subcategories. And then now we have to go back to the columns and actually work on them. So if you go back right now here and then go back to our application, go to the subcategories and refresh. So as you can see right now, this is the subcategories, but we still have to make few changes right here. So what we need to do, first of all, let me just go back to the columns here. So let's open this columns one, and then let's see what we have. First of all, the type right here is not going to be category, it's going to be subcategory. So we're going to go subcategory like this, and this we're going to go. So for the row, for the image is the same because they have like similar information. So it's going to be row.original.image, the same, the name, the URL, it's all the same. But we have something that is going to be different, which is we need to also add the category name. So to add the category name, we need to create a new, like a row, not row, a new column right here. So we can do it before featured. So I'm just going to copy this one, the URL, and after that, which is going to be this one, and we can call this one category like this. And for the header, we can just call it category like this. And the row is going to be row.original.url.category. But if you see right here, we only have category ID and we don't have category. The reason why for that is because if you go back to the type that we have defined for each row, it's going to be subcategory. And subcategory right here, you can see it has subcategory ID. It doesn't have the data included because this is simply just the basic information without the data of the category included. So we have to find a way to create that type, and that type will make our life easier. So what we can do is going to go back to our types right here. So if we go back to lib and then types here, and then simply, yeah, I didn't add the comments for the first one, you should add it, but I'm just going to add this one. This one is going to be the subcategory and then plus what? Plus the parent category. Okay, these are very important to understand what's going on. So how we do it, look, this is going to be very nice. I'm going to go export and then type, and I'm going to call this subcategory. So I'm just going to copy this. So I'm going to call it subcategory with category. Okay, this is just few names you can have, and then you can add type right here if you want to, or just without it. But I rather add the type there because we know that this is a type. So subcategory with category type, and we're going to use Prisma for this. So let's get Prisma, and then we're going to go Prisma.promise and then return type. This is going to be used, we can send a function to it, and the type of the function we send is gonna, the promise that it returns is gonna return that type. And you will understand this when we go right here and we pass the type of, and what we're gonna send the type of, we're gonna say the type of this function, which is get all subcategories. Now the get all subcategories, what it returns subcategories in the form of what? In form of subcategories, but it also adds the include right here for the category. So it adds also the information of the category. That means it returns categories, it's an array. So right here it returns an array, but also it includes each category there for each subcategory it returns. So that means if we ask for type of this array, it's going to be type of this subcategory also with the category included. So let's go back to the type right here, type of get all subcategories. Let's import that right here. But this type of is an array, as we said right here. This one is going to return an array, but I want only one, which is simply just by going and getting the first one. So just select from the array, we're going to select the first element. So this way we can get the type of what? Of this function, the only one element. Okay, that means it's going to have the type of, is have all the informations of subcategory and then also the informations of the category, because we are using include right here. If you didn't have this include, it's going to be the same type as just the one we had right here, which is subcategory. But because we are adding include, it's going to include the type of all the informations is added that are coming with category. So this way you do it. And then for the type right here, just go here and just change this and just import it. And when we do that, now if you go back right here, so now if you access, where is it? So right here, you can access category and then you can access the name. So how nice is that? So this way we can actually do that. Let's remove that. And as you can see, this way how you do that. And then we're not going to add any styling for this one. I think that works. And let's go back right now to our browser, and as you can see, for the category we get the category name, which is shirt. So yeah, that works. So let's see what we have to do else. Now we come to the cell actions. Okay, sorry, my bad. So for the sale action right here, so you can see the type that we're going to take. So the same thing that we have done for the raw data is not only going to be category this time or subcategory. It's going to be the subcategory with the category type like this. Okay, and then this way we have the sale action. Okay, and it takes the subcategory with category type. And then let's go, so open menu action, and then for not the category details right here, we need to send the subcategory details, and then with the raw data. But as you can see right here, it needs the categories. So if you go right here, let's import this first, and it says we need categories. So we need to send the categories. How do we send them? We need to get them. So how do we get them? We simply can get them using just a use effect. This is a normal component. So we can just go right here and then get categories, and yeah, let's have a state, so const, and then categories, and then set categories. So set categories like this, and then we're gonna have a use, we're gonna have a use state right here, and this one by default is gonna be an empty array right here. So categories, set categories, you can define the type of it right now, which is gonna be an array of category like this, and these are the categories. Now what we need to do is just have a use effect. So we can have a use effect this way, and this use effect right here is gonna run once. Okay, and then for the categories, I'm just gonna create a function, and let's call this function, let's do it inside. You can just do it outside or inside, but I'm just gonna do it inside. So const, and let's call this function fetch categories. It's gonna be an asynchronous function, and this asynchronous function, all it does is just const and then categories, and then const categories, and then equal, and we're going to use await, and then get all categories. It's a function that we all have, get categories, already created that. And then what we need to do is set categories now with the new categories we got, okay, using this use effects. But we need to run this function, so we're gonna run it here. Okay, we define the function, now we need to run it. All it does, it looks for get all the categories function, it gets us all the categories, and then it sets them to this state. So now this state has the categories, and we can pass it right here. All right, so how cool is that? Now for the raw data that here awaits, we need to get not the category, but the get subcategory. So we need also to go back here. So to the subcategory, look, let me close this one. So where is the get category? We're gonna remove that and change that to get subcategory. So when we do that, we have to also to update the comments. I'm gonna copy paste them for you. So get subcategory retrieves a specific category, subcategory. You know the deal, just simply using the subcategory ID, we're gonna get the subcategory. So this function gets subcategory, it takes the subcategory ID. If it's not there, please provide the subcategory ID. So right here, subcategory ID, and then ensure subcategory also subcategory ID is provided, and then retrieve subcategory, and then right here we can name it subcategory, and then await db dot subcategory, and then dot find unique, then the ID is going to be the subcategory ID, and then after that return in the subcategory like this. Very simple. Now if you go back right here, instead of that, let's import this new one, which is get subcategory. And then for edit details, delete. So for deleting, it's gonna be delete subcategory, and then this one, and this goes subcategory, and then right here, this function right now, it's gonna be delete this one. Let me change it first, and then the subcategory has been deleted. And let's change the function. So this function is gonna be delete subcategory now. So same thing. Go back right here, and then let's close this one. Go back right here. This one is going to be delete subcategory. It's the easiest function in the world. You can do it by yourself, so you don't have to worry about me. I'm just going to copy paste everything here, but I'm just going to copy the comments first. This one is going to be level admin only, so we have to make sure that we do all the validation, the same thing. So we're going to make sure that you are authenticated, and also you are an admin. And then if there is no, this one is going to be subcategory ID. So right here, you can leave it even category ID, it's not a problem. So right here is going to be with the subcategory ID, and make sure the subcategory ID is there, and delete subcategory from the database. And right now this one is going to be subcategory, and we will delete, and we're done. So now we're going to go back and actually import that. That's cool. Go back right now, and let me remove everything that is not needed in the imports. So remove this, and this go down. This one is also included with the queries, and this one right here is not going to be here. This one, it should be with the components right here. And this one, not the UI component, this is custom components. And the last thing we have right here with queries, we have types. Okay, so we can just go right here and add a comment for types. this is a well organized code. This is how it looks. This is professionalism at its peak. So yeah, we are going very strong and doing very well right here. So now what we have to do is just simply try it out. So we have the categories there and subcategories. Refresh, my brother. Thank you very much. Let me check if the server even running. So it is running, but we get this issue from time to time because my time changes automatically, but that's fine. Okay, so we have the subcategories. There is the name, there is the URL, and also there is the name of the category and featured or not. We can actually edit the details as usual, as you can see. Subcategory informations, update polo shirt subcategory informations. We can make it like, for example, and featured like this and change that and go back and it's not featured anymore. You can create a new subcategory this way, or also this is the same scenario. So if you go to /new, you still can use it. I'm gonna create like a reusable component that we can click on the table to actually do this. So yeah. So I'm just gonna go and create, this is gonna be very random. So I'm just gonna go, and this is gonna be unrelated. So I'm just gonna go and just done, we just tested it. So I'm just gonna go iPhones, and the subcategory is gonna be, URL is gonna be iPhones, and the category, I know it's shirt, but we're just testing it right now. So I'm just gonna go with featured and create subcategory, and it's created. And just simply now we're going to try to delete. So let me delete, and let's see if it's deleted. It is deleted. Refresh. It's not there anymore, and it works. So what I want from you guys is actually create some valid categories and also subcategories. But even if you do that, we're going to delete them later because we still need to create the store, etc., and products, and then yeah. But depending on what data you're going to have in the future, then update it. But you know, for now it's not important. This is just dummy data. We're just trying to see if everything works. From subcategory name, this is just working. Photo short, yeah, very simple. So guys, this is for the subcategories. It actually was the same as categories, no difference, just few things, few minor changes. And as you can see, everything is still very organized, very commented, and yeah, that's it for this video. Everything is done for the subcategories. If there is something that I didn't do, we'll do it later. But for now, that's it. Peace, and see you in the next videos.